Welcome back, investors. My name is Jeff. In today's video, I want to talk about Boeing stock, ticker symbol BA. I'm going to present this video a little differently than usual, okay? I am not going to deny Boeing's greatness at all. I'm not even going to argue with it. And the amount of institutional support that comes in to lift this company up time and time again, there is no denying that. The second part of that is that there's no denying it. This company is incredibly troubled, okay? And over the past year, the stock is up 1.86%. I know a year ago when Boeing started experiencing all of these problems, a lot of people jumped in, especially here on YouTube. I've seen a flood of videos just hit YouTube. Buy this dip, you won't regret it. And I suppose for call option purposes or trading purposes, it would have been a fantastic buy 1 year ago, as Boeing did see a high at $440 on March 1st of 2019. This company has had such a wide array of different things happen to it, whether it's the trade war, the multiple crashes that they've had, the production stops that they've had. What I want to do in this video is present all the good things about Boeing, tell you the truth. It is one of the strongest components of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But really, since that March 1st high, this chart pattern has just slowly but surely been working its way down. This is a great chart pattern to trade, not necessarily to own. You could buy in some of these dips and continue to buy in these dips. And over the course of time, I'm going to say a year, probably looking more like a couple of years now before you see some real gains on it, where I think you could compare this chart pattern very similar to Tesla in 2018, but very different than, let's say, maybe Apple or Facebook, where Apple and Facebook took massive dips last year and then they've rebounded spectacularly. Boeing has been trading in this seesaw up and down pattern for the last 365 days. Been a lot of opportunities to make money trading it, but more on the investment side of things, this stock might start feeling like a pain in the butt to you. Another one that comes to mind is FedEx, okay? FedEx just reported earnings again today. They're down, trading into lows once again. And of course, some institutional buyers will come in and keep FedEx propped up to a certain point. Boeing, I think the future doesn't look spectacular in the near future. And the whole purpose of this video, the thought I really want to push to everybody, there is no reason to rush into this trade. I think it's going to go lower in the short term, and I think you're going to find better opportunities to buy Boeing if you're just kind of patient. So let's get started. Do me a favor first though, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate all the support, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So let's first start here with their dividend history. This is going back to 2013. As I'm scrolling up this chart, I want you to pay attention to something very closely right here. Every single year going back to 2013 and many years before that, Boeing has upped their dividend pretty noticeably along with the growth of the stock. Okay, so this over the past 5 to 6, 7, 8 years been one of the best investments you could possibly have made. Here in 2014, they bumped it up from 48 cents to 73. In 2015, they bumped it up to 91 cents a share. Then here in 2016, you see at $1.09. In early 2017, $1.42. 2018, they bumped it up to $1.71. And now here in 2019, they bumped it up to $2.05 quarterly, which comes out to well over $8 a share annually. Now it's $330 a share, so the yield comes out to about 2.5%. Still a very, very strong dividend for such a powerful stock. So that alone is a great reason to own Boeing, the constant dividend increase. And even on a fundamental scale, there's really not a lot here I can pick at. It's a $186 billion market cap company. Obviously, it's been much higher than that. Their profit and operating margins have slipped a bit over the past 52 weeks. The return on assets is a bit lower, but still positive. I would like to see an improvement on their cash flow, a negative $300 million levered free cash flow. Again, I'm not going to pick too much in the world. This is one of the biggest production companies in the world that has shown constant growth and dividend increases. So I'm not going to comb over them too much. I do have to go with what they have. Boeing also has almost $11 billion in cash with about $25.8 billion of total debt. That is actually a strong ratio for an industrial company like this. Now here is where you will start to see some turn in Boeing stock, not just in their consistency, but their earnings growth. In Q4 2018, they had this massive beat, and they guided down slightly for Q1 2019, which is located right here. They had a miss by 3 cents, and then their Q2 of 2019, of course, they guided way down. They reset their guidance, and they missed on EPS, and now, of course, we are waiting on Q4 for 2019. Unfortunately, analysts and experts are predicting Boeing stock, due to this recent halt of the 737 MAX, they're saying that earnings could be very choppy for the next year and a half. Really just kind of depends. This is a situation that we know as much day to day as anybody else does. So I would really not expect a blowout quarter in Q4. It would be nice, especially if you're a long-term shareholder. If the stock was to report spectacular earnings, it might give you an opportunity to sell. But unfortunately, just the way things have been going, I would not expect it. And for the first time in many, many years, getting back to the dividend payment schedule, they're not going to be increasing the dividend going into Q4. Again, a lot of analysts are very mixed on this. They say, give this a little bit of time and Boeing will have this straightened out very quickly. A lot of people are saying we might not see a dividend increase for the entire year of 2020 and possibly longer than that. But going into Q4, the date declared on 12/16/19 and the ex-dividend date of February of 2020, there will not be a dividend increase. They're going to try to save some money on the balance sheet to prepare for the production of the 737 MAX being stopped temporarily. So let's do just a little bit of technical analysis. There is kind of this undeniable support level that Boeing does seem to maintain. Anytime it gets close to about $320 a share, it does seem to kind of ricochet itself back up to $370, $375, and then it shortly returns. But $320 has acted like a support level over the past 6 to 8 months. Now, the reason I don't want you to buy too deeply into technical analysis on this is simply because there's too many moving parts with the company right now. If you're going to live and die strictly by technical analysis, then I say go ahead and buy here at $320. But again, I'm going to encourage you to be patient and wait. I think there's a lot. This stock is one bad headline or one bad earnings report away from being sub $300, and it could trade around in that area for quite a while, even though, like I said, this is one of the most valuable manufacturers in the world. Really going back here to the end of 2017, where 2017, 2018, it was pretty much making new gains. Of course, it did trade down here at the end of the year with the entirety of the market, and now 2019, it seems like it's giving those gains back up and trading itself back down. So if more negative news comes out about Boeing, or let's say this halt is going to last a longer period of time than originally expected, or more plane deliveries are going to be affected by this, you can throw these technicals right out the window and the stock is going to trade down even further. That's why I say don't be in a big hurry to pick up stock in Boeing, right here at 330. So I'd like this video to have a pretty decent shelf life. This article was just published today talking about how Boeing is so important to the economy, okay? It could slow U.S. growth to a crawl. That is really something I've been hearing since July. Its #1 exporter, it being Boeing, that its decision to suspend production of its troubled 737 MAX airplane is expected to reverberate through the manufacturing sector. So all industrial stocks could be affected by this. All companies in some way or shape or form could be affected. It could send a ripple effect through the economy. Several analysts project that the move will slash economic growth by a 0.5 percentage point and eventually leading to layoffs. So as of now, December 18th, 2019, there is no layoffs. They're going to be reassigning employees to different Boeing plants, but so far no layoffs are being reported. So that is a good thing. They're keeping their employees working with no layoffs. Here's just a couple of things that analysts are saying about it. So Baird said the production halt was expected, but the street's free cash flow estimates remain way too high, maintains a neutral rating, lowering the price target to $322 from $342. The announcement leaves many questions unanswered, but that was probably inevitable given the difficulty of forecasting how the aircraft will return. That was JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan has been so bullish on Boeing for the past several years. They keep an overweight rating, but they drop the price target to $370. Jefferies, they said the suspending output should be the end of the negative news flow for Boeing. They keep a buy rating with a $420 price target. So do with that information as you must. Like I said, JP Morgan has always been the most bullish. They've always given Boeing the most slack, and they're lowering their price target to $370. Like I said, where it's currently trading at, you're just one or two bad headlines away, or perhaps this production halt lasts longer than expected and they have to start laying off employees. There's also other companies that are affected by this as well. So if it really starts to dive into that, it could send a ripple effect, not just through the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but through the GDP growth as a whole. So in conclusion, let me finalize the video with this. I think if you have a very long-term perspective and you can stomach the next year and a half, I think Boeing is going to have a lot more ups and downs. But for long-term investment, I think this is still a fantastic company to invest in. But I do think it's going to go lower in the short term, probably 6 to 8 months. You could see some definite turbulence in this stock. So if you are going to buy Boeing here at these levels, just make sure you're very connected to the news. You're watching everything that happens. Riding this stock is an absolute rodeo. If you want to have a much safer route, you want to have exposure to the industrials, I would suggest looking at a good industrial based ETF. Okay, that way you're getting a little bit more exposure, and I believe most of the industrial ETFs, a few that I own, have outperformed Boeing easily in 2019. Like I said, most industrial based ETFs have at least 8 to 10% holding of Boeing. With that said, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and as always, have a great day.